everyone, my name is Alyssa Johnson and I'm an environmental educator here at the Montezuma Audubon Center. I was supposed to lead a van tour today, bringing participants around to some local birding hotspots, and unfortunately I couldn't do that, so I thought, what's the next best thing? I'll bring you on a virtual tour. The Montezuma Audubon Center is located on 198 acres of state-owned land. That is the Department of Environmental Conservation. Our land and our building are owned by the DEC and are a part of a much larger management area of land. It is part of the Northern Montezuma Wildlife Management Area. There is close to 10,000 acres altogether. Many people are familiar with Montezuma National Wildlife Refuge, which is located in Seneca Falls. You access it from routes 5 and 20. The Wildlife Drive actually opens today, and that's really exciting because it's been closed since November. But they are owned and operated by the federal government. This land, this building is owned by the DEC, the state, but I work for the National Audubon Society at the Montezuma Audubon Center. We're a nonprofit, we staff the building, we provide the programming, the exhibits. It's a really neat partnership, and I'm really excited to be able to show that and share that with you through this video. So, follow along. I hope you enjoy. Leave me a comment. If you like something, if you want to learn more about something, let me know, and I'm going to be doing a lot more videos as we go into the coming weeks. First stop on our virtual tour is at this marsh behind me. A marsh is a type of wetland that has fresh water and has emergent vegetation growing out of it. Emergent vegetation meaning it has to be growing directly out of the water, the roots are saturated. Plants like that include cattail, which I have a handful of cattail fluff right here. This is great stuff for birds to make nests out of. Speaking of birds, I'm sure we can all name a handful of birds that use a wetland, like different species of duck, Canada geese, trumpeter and tundra swans, other birds like great blue herons and green herons, bald eagles, osprey. All sorts of birds use a wetland to find food, to nest, to raise their young. Really, really important. Other kinds of animals could be frogs. I just heard a moment ago spring peeper in the background, which is a great early spring amphibian to come out of hibernation. We could find salamanders here, turtles like painted and snapping turtles, snakes, northern water snake, non-venomous snake, mammals including muskrat, beaver, river otter, mink, tons of insects. As we get further into the growing season, things warm up, we'll have more and more insects coming out and about. So this is a really productive type of ecosystem, and it's one of my favorites because it's beautiful to look at, it's peaceful to listen to the sounds of the birds and the frogs, and it's just a great place to explore. So I hope that if you come and visit here, you make a stop and enjoy the sights and the sounds of this marsh. All right, the second stop on our virtual tour is here in the grassland. A grassland is a really special type of ecosystem because there's animals that are very specific to it. We have birds in the wintertime that take advantage of the grassland, like short-eared owls, northern harriers. They swoop and they fly very continuously and low over the grass, hunting for small mammals like mice, shrews, voles, rabbits maybe. And they can't do that in a forest, so they need the grassland. In the breeding season for birds, we'll have meadowlark and bobolink, a handful of sparrow species, ringneck pheasants might be out here in the grassland. Really important for them. They evolved to be in a grassland, and unfortunately worldwide, if you think of an ecosystem as maybe a species, a living and breathing thing, grasslands are on the endangered species list, if you think of it as a species. They are declining worldwide, and that's because they either grow up to become a forest or they get developed. They rarely are kept and managed to have grasses. And that's really unfortunate because, like I said, there's many species that require a grassland to raise their young, to feed, and live their life. So here at the Montezuma Audubon Center, we work cooperatively with the DEC to mow the fields every so often. Sometimes they till them and replant with native wildflower and grass seeds. And it's great because come back here in July and this will be full of life. It'll be green, there'll be flowers blooming. It's just a really pretty place to walk through and take a moment to yourself to enjoy the outdoors. right, the last stop on our virtual tour today is here in the forest. I'm sure you can see behind me there are some blue tubes, and people ask us all the time, what are in the blue tubes? Well, each spring, with the help of many volunteers, we are removing an invasive honeysuckle bush that takes up a lot of room and really isn't providing much value to the ecosystem. So we remove that, and in its place, we plant native trees and shrubs. Those blue tubes act as a protectant from white-tailed deer, who will come and nip them right off immediately. And also, it provides a marker for us to know where we've planted things. When the sapling is planted, it's just a very plain little stem, no leaves on it, and it's very easy to lose it as soon as you plant it. It blends right in with the forest floor, and we want to keep tabs on the growth and see how they're doing. So the blue tube goes on at the time of planting, and when we come out here later this spring to do some surveying, we will likely remove the blue tube because the tree or shrub has grown enough over the winter. So we are working hard at diversifying the plant life out here, and that will hopefully diversify our wildlife. We have deer, we have raccoons, squirrels, fox, coyote, lots of different mammals that call the forest home, as well as birds. In another month, we're going to have warblers returning for their breeding season here. One of our favorites here is the cerulean warbler, which has a really neat little call. I'll post a link for you to listen to it. But it's just a really productive ecosystem type because we've worked hard at diversifying the types of plants that are growing here. I'd like to say thank you so much for joining me on this virtual tour through the grassland, through the wetland, through the forest. It's been really fun for me learning how to provide environmental education in a new way. If you enjoyed what you saw today and would like to leave us a small donation, please do that at the link below. That will come right directly to the Montezuma Audubon Center and allow us to continue doing public programming both virtually and in person when life as we knew it resumes to normal. I'd also like to shout out to two of our wildlife festival vendors that have donated their vendor fee back to the Montezuma Audubon Center. Unfortunately, we did have to cancel the wildlife festival that is held in the beginning of May. We will be offering it again next year. But I'd like to thank the Wayne Region Guiding Eyes and Zeyba Apparel for donating their vendor fee to sponsor this video and to allow me to provide this great experience to you at home. If you'd like to come experience the Montezuma Audubon Center for yourself, we're located at 2295 State Route 89 in Savannah. The building is closed, but you are able to enjoy the 198 acres and 2 miles of trails. We hope you come out and visit and enjoy it, and we hope to see you in person soon. Stay well.